It's not just the dogs that are aggressive or have social problems that get put down in the shelter. Amazing dogs get put down in the shelters every single day. I know I have one that was a day away from being put down. She is 7 years old now, she's too old, but she would make an amazing therapy dog. She is so calm and sweet and smart.
The average dog fight lasts from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, with some exceeding 3 hours. And sometimes even the winners will die from their injuries.
And when they're fighting, and they see the dogs, you know, lock down each other and so tired and just wanting to give up. And then you hear the owners on the floor say,
all the folks in my community, they were fighting the dogs. I'm 12, 13 years old. And I did that till I was about 17. 17, I went to the Marine Corps. When I got into the Marine Corps, I met some more dog trainers. The dog trainers I met in the Marine Corps, they were doing other things with the dogs. They were teaching the dogs how to jump, how to play, how to heel, how to sit, how to retrieve, how to do other things away from fighting. So I got interested in that because these dogs could do all these other things. 5 years I was away from the fighting game. And when I came back to LA, I had a whole different attitude about this pit bull. I found out how loyal he was. I found out how trustworthy he was. How he would just basically submit his whole self to you if you gave him the time. He didn't have to be a warrior. So that's when I started learning different things about training, different aspects of training. And then very shortly after that, I started my own dog training program. And I've been doing that since roughly the mid-70s, training these dogs for other things other than fighting. Somebody saved my life by taking me out of that environment, because I could have easily got caught up in that thing with everybody else, fighting these dogs for big money, going to different places, which we did as young kids. But as I got older, I found out there's other things that we could do that are more informative and better for the dog than seeing him get wounded, seeing him get hurt. So we started doing different things. But I grew up right here in this environment. I know what's going on right here. I know what's going on in the park. I know what's going on in the alley around the corner. You find a couple of puppies, you let them bump for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Am I right? Am I right? Those of you who know, tell me, am I right? But look at what you're doing to the dog. How much time you got to spend stitching him up? How much time you got to spend go getting him antibiotics and changing his diet and getting him back healthy? They give you a puppy. Right off the bat, you've already incurred a $100 expense right off the bat. Because first you got to go buy a water bowl, you got to go buy a food bowl, and you got to buy some food. Then you got to take it, this ain't counting the dog out. Then you got to take it to the vet to make sure it's got all its shots. Minimum vet visit, okay, is between $40 to $65. Minimum. If there's anything, just for your question, if there's anything wrong with the dog, that doesn't include medications. So if anything is wrong with the dog, it needs shots and stuff, now you got to buy the medications and you got to pay for the vet visit. Then you got to pay for the return visit. It's a lot of expense that goes into just owning a dog. It's enough just trying to take care of one dog properly. Not just taking some food and some water out there and putting it out there in the backyard. Or going out there every once in a while to go out and pet the dog. The average teenager said that they want an animal. Within 3 days, you could care less about this dog. You done forgot about feeding the dog. You done forgot about, oh, now you don't want to go out and pick up their poop. I'm telling you because I got a teenager, okay? She wanted a dog when she was younger. I got her a dog. 3 days, she was totally disinterested. Now I'm stuck with the dog. It's what's going to happen to the majority of your parents. You have to make a commitment, and this is a commitment. This is just not something that is a fad, as you guys say, something that's passive. It's a living animal. It's a living being. So it needs help. It needs care. It needs nutrition. It needs training. It needs all these things that you need. The same things that you need, it needs. And if you're not willing to supply those things, then don't get the animal. And if you see somebody who's not supplying those things, tell them to get rid of the animal. Find a good home for it, or take it somewhere where it's going to get the proper treatment, the proper love, the proper care, the proper nutrition. Let me scratch you under your mouth and under your chin and around your ears and see if that irritates you. Okay, so it's the same thing with the dog. Okay, and a lot of people, first thing they want to do is when they get a dog, the first thing they want to do is start grabbing him by the muzzle and around by his face and start irritating. That's the worst thing you could ever do. The dog is trained to be social. You see these dogs here, they're not trying to get at each other. They're social around other dogs. You see, they're not trying to bite people. They're social. And you have to teach the dog that. It's not a natural thing. If you put too much pressure on them, you make them defensive. You make a dog defensive, you get bit. You put too much pressure on, you make them afraid. You make them too afraid, you get bit. So it's certain things that you have to work and have to learn how to read the dog, and then you'll be able to put the training into it that you want. Speak. 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 Quiet. Get loud.
I want to try to do that.
I see. I see. Quiet.
I see. I see. I see.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, man.